Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. In this screencast, I'm going to run through what you need to do to be successful in the class, as well as highlight everything here at the My Math Lab course site. So first, when you get registered and you come to the class site here in My Math Lab, your first page, your course homepage, it might look a little different than what mine is because I'm the instructor. So there might be some stuff over here that you don't see. Don't worry about it. So over here, let's start off in the left-hand frame. Let's click on the Course Information tab. So in the Course Information tab, you're going to find 6 documents. They're all PDFs. The online orientation, the course syllabus, the academic calendar, protocol for sending email, a list of the homework to practice exercises, and the answers to those exercises. So we're going to go over these, and some of them I'm going to ask that you print out and have a hard copy. Basically, if this were a traditional in-class course, it's what I would hand out on the first day of class. So the first thing I'm going to look at here in the Course Information tab is the course syllabus. Note there's going to be something really important in the course syllabus. So let me click on course syllabus, and again, this is a PDF, so you could print it out. First thing I'm going to highlight on the course syllabus is, well, I'm not going to read through everything on the course syllabus. I'm just going to highlight important things. And the first thing is my email address. That is my email address. That's the address you need to use to send me an email. Please use that email address. I will respond to emails within 24 hours. If you send me an email and more than 24 hours has gone by and I have not replied to your email, it's probably because you've used the wrong email address. So this is my email address. Please use it. My office is located in B3056, and you see my office telephone number. Those are the hours that I'm in my office, so we'll call them my office hours. You don't need to make an appointment to come see me. You can come by anytime during my office hours. That's why I'm there. You can read about the prerequisite, the My Math Lab access code. You can either get it at the bookstore or you can purchase it online. You need a graphing calculator for the class. Your grade. How do I determine the grade that you earn? Well, the course itself is going to be worth a total of 600 points. And I'm going to break down how those 600 points are accrued. So first will be tests. There are going to be a total of 3 tests during the semester. They're worth 120 points each. Now, folks, it is the policy of Lakeland's Mathematics Department, so this is Lakeland Mathematics Department policy, that all tests must be proctored. Most people take their proctored tests in the testing center at Lakeland. Tests can be completed any day the testing center is open, up to and including the deadline dates that are shown on the academic calendar. And we'll look at the academic calendar, here in a moment. Test questions are free response, similar to what you will see in the homework to practice exercises at the end of each section in the EText. Table 1 shows, what each test will cover. So, for example, test 1 covers the assigned sections from weeks 1, 2, and 3, and that corresponds to sections 1.1 through 1.6. A few notes about tests. When you show up at the test center to take your test, make sure you have a photo ID, a pencil, and your graphing calculator. The proctors in the test center can't give you a test unless you have a photo ID. So either your Lakeland ID card or a driver's license. Notes, texts, formula cards, cheat sheets, etc. None of those will be allowed for a test. Deadline dates for each test are in the academic calendar. I will also put reminders in the weekly announcements, and we'll go over that in a minute. There are the hours that the test center is open, pretty much Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. See some rules or notes here about taking tests. I can let you read through those on your own. Online quizzes. Well, there are going to be a total of 12 online quizzes. Online quizzes will be due each week that there is not a test due. So there will be 12 online quizzes worth 10 points each. So online quizzes will total 120 points possible, towards the 600 I mentioned earlier. Online quizzes are due Sunday that they're assigned at 11:55 p.m. When you start an online quiz, you must complete it in one session. So for example, let's say you start to do an online quiz on Friday. Once you start that quiz, you have to complete it. It doesn't matter if it takes you an hour and a half. There's no time limit on quizzes, but you have to complete it in one session. You will have the opportunity to do each online quiz a maximum of 2 times. And finally, there's a final exam that concludes the course. It's worth 120 points, and the deadline for the final exam will be shown on the academic calendar. So Table 2 shows how the 600 points break down. 3 tests at 120 points each, so that's 360 points. 12 quizzes at 10 points each is 120 points. The final exam's worth 120 points, so 360 plus 120 plus 120 adds up to 600 points possible in the class. In Table 3, I show the grading scale I use to determine the final grade that you will earn in the course. Assigning course grades, I'll let you read through that on your own about assigning course grades. Some general course tips. I really believe that the homework to practice exercises at the end of each section in the EText are probably the single most vital element for your success in the course. So please do those exercises. Exercises are not collected. The homework isn't collected. It's not graded. But if you want to do well on the quizzes and the tests, you need to do those exercises. Second general course tip is, to keep up with the work. Don't let it build up. So don't wait until Sunday morning to do all the sections that you should have been working on during the week. Keep up. Do work regularly throughout the week. If you have any math questions, you have a specific question, a trig related, shoot me an email. Again, there's my email address. This is the second time I've indicated what my email address is. Before sending an email, make sure you follow the guidelines and the protocol for sending email. That's a document I have in the course information area. We'll go over that in a minute as well. And finally, an online course, it's a self-directed course. So if you don't have the time, proficiency, or inclination to learn material in a self-directed style, you might want to take the traditional in-class course. So learning the course material, well over 10 years now, I've been doing online courses, and I kind of come up with this 4-step cycle of learning, if you will. So step 1, you start each section by logging into the MyMathLab site and going to the assigned chapter and section and read the EText for that assigned section. While you're reading the EText, you will notice links to videos and animations done by the author. His name's Kirk Trigstad. Watching these animations and videos, they should help you in understanding the concepts or the examples and help you in doing the practice exercises, the homework. For many sections, I will supply a YouTube video reinforcing the concepts or ideas in the section. And I will do some more examples as well in my videos. And I really try to focus on what I believe is really important. Step 2 in my 4-step cycle of learning is that while you're reading the assigned section in the EText, after some of the examples, you will find some You Try It exercises. And those You Try It's are very similar to the example that you just read. So it's meant to give immediate reinforcement of the concept or the skill that was presented in the example. So I suggest doing those. Step 3, once you've made it through the section, do the practice exercises at the end of the section. And I have a list of exercises for each section that I think you need to do in order to master the concepts and skills presented in the section. Again, these do not count for a grade. They do reinforce the ideas, concepts, and skills presented in the section, and they will help prepare you for the quizzes and the tests. And then step 4, after you've completed all the sections for the week, you're ready to do the online quiz. So you'll go to the online quiz tab and do the quiz for that week. And the online quizzes do count for a grade, as I mentioned earlier here in the syllabus. And there's an acknowledgement of syllabus statement, and it looks like there's something important right here. I don't know if I should, there's really nothing more to say about it. You got to be aware of that. So that's the syllabus. Make sure you print this out and have a hard copy on hand. I'm going to close it now. Next up in the course information tab that I want to go over is the academic calendar. This is also something that I think you should print and have a hard copy on hand, as it shows all the important deadline dates and it shows section coverage on a week-by-week basis. So here we see week 1, going to cover sections 1.1 and 1.2, and it shows over here that Sunday, January 19th, is the deadline to complete quiz 1, and the deadline is 11:55 p.m. Notice test 4, I'm saying for that week we should be focused on preparing for the test. Notice the deadline for test 1 is Saturday, February 8th. Notice the deadline for test 2 is Friday, March 6th. That's due to spring break. So test 2, deadline is Friday, March 6th. Then you can see test 3 has a deadline of Saturday, April 11th. The final exam, the deadline for the final exam is Wednesday, May 6th. You also notice on the academic calendar, I list again the each quiz and the sections that are covered on each quiz. And I also mention again each test and the sections covered on each test. I know you will have seen that in the syllabus, but it doesn't hurt to see it again. So that's the academic calendar. Please print this out and have a hard copy on hand, as it shows week by week the section coverage as well as important deadlines. So let me close that. And the next thing I'll look at is, let's quickly look at the online orientation. Notice in the online orientation, one of the first things I mentioned are some documents to print out and have in, a hard copy of. The syllabus, the academic calendar, the homework to practice exercises, and the protocol for sending email. And we'll look at those briefly here in a moment. Keeping up to date. So each week in the announcement area here at My Math Lab, I'm going to post what's called a weekly announcement. I post these weekly announcements early on Sunday morning, and it's for the subsequent week. Now, in the weekly announcement, I'm going to give you reminders on weekly section coverage, a reminder on what homework you should be doing, a reminder of any due dates, and And if I have a YouTube video for the material that's covered that week, that's where you will find links to my YouTube videos. So if you encounter difficulties with trigonometry, there are several ways to get some help with the homework or assignments or concepts. So I say, number one, the primary way to get help is to send me an email. And again, there's my email address. So that's, I believe, the third time I've indicated what my email address is. Before you send me an email, check out the protocol for sending email document that's here in the course information area. We're going to look at that in a minute. You can also go to the Math in Minutes table that's located. It's not located in the Tutoring Center. It's now located in what's called the Math Resource Center, and that's located in C3075. So in the Math in Minutes table, it's drop in. You can drop in anytime you have a question. There's no cost. You will find experienced tutors in there to help you with any difficulties. And the third way to get help is you can contact the Tutoring Center and make a personal appointment with a tutor at no cost. So that's another avenue for help. Let's see, taking tests. Yeah, there are 3 tests and a final. We've already gone over that. Dates, deadlines for tests on the academic calendar. We've looked at that. During the week of a test or a week before a test deadline, I will open up a test preparation tab, and in it you will find a study guide for the test, a practice test, answers to most items on the practice test, and a link to a YouTube video that I will make showing worked out solutions to most of the items on the practice test. And that should really help prepare you for the test. Again, policy of the Lakeland Mathematics Department that all tests must be proctored. And really, I'm stating this one more time. I feel the best way to prepare for tests and quizzes is to do the homework to practice exercises at the end of each section in the EText. Online quizzes, online quizzes are due each Sunday at 11:55 p.m. During weeks when there is not a test. And you know that you have 12 quizzes worth 10 points each, so that's 120 points total for online quizzes. The best way to prepare for online quizzes is to do the homework to practice exercises at the end of each section in the EText. And remember, online quizzes, for each one of them, you'll have a maximum of 2 attempts. And also remember, once you begin an online quiz, you must complete it in its entirety. So that's a brief online orientation. I'm going to close that. Let's see what else here in the course information tab. Protocol for sending email. So let me click on that. Print this out and have a hard copy of this on hand as well. Sending email for an online course or even a traditional course, folks, it's a little different than just sending ordinary conversational email. So these tips I have below would be true for any class, sending an email to any professor. But the first tip I have is be sure you use the correct email address. So again, I think this is the 4th time. There's my email address. Please use the correct email address. I'm also asking you to please use your Lakeland email account, not a personal email account. And the reason why that I'd like you to use your Lakeland email account is, I can quickly identify that it's one of my students sending me an email. That if I see an email from slickdime53@gmail.com, and that's your personal email account, I don't recognize that as being one of my Lakeland students. One quick comment about email in general. You really should get into the habit of checking your Lakeland email at least once a day. Use the subject bar to identify, it's Math 1700 online. And if you could please start off by just identifying yourself, say something along the lines of, hey, my name's June Johnson. I'm a student in your Math 1700, online class. That really helps me save some time, and I would appreciate that. Allow time for a reply. Folks, I do respond to email each day. You will receive a response from me within 24 hours. And if you send a message late at night or on a weekend, you might not get an immediate response, but you will get one on the next day at the latest, within 24 hours. So sending multiple repeated messages, doesn't help. I do reply to email in a timely fashion. You can read about being cognizant of your writing tone. Use complete words and sentences. This isn't like sending text messages. Try to state your question clearly and completely. And, entering math in an email, this has been a challenge for, well over 20 years. But we tend to figure it out. So, you send me the email, and it's, I try to look at how you are expressing the math and figure it out, and then I try to reply in a similar manner. So that's it for the protocol for sending email. So I'm going to close this, come back to the Course Information tab. The list of homework to practice exercises. Yeah, you should print this out and have a hard copy on hand. It shows for each section the homework you should be doing. So for example, section 1.5, starting on EText screen 1.5-52, you should do 3 through 39 odd, 51 through 61 odd, and 79 through 89 odd. Over here, you see section 4.1. Those exercises start on EText screen 4.1-20, and I say you should do 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, and 14. So print this out. Have a hard copy on hand. It's kind of important. Then the final thing in the course information area, well, this is the answers to those exercises that I suggest you do. It's the one document that I say maybe you don't want to print and have a hard copy on hand because, look, it's still loading. This has got to be well over 40 pages. No, it's 36 pages. So if I were a student in this class, when I'm doing the homework, say I'm doing the homework in section 1.1, so I have my eText open and I'm doing the homework, I would just open this document because it opens in a separate tab. And then, once I do number 5, I could click over to this tab to see if I have the correct answer for number 5. So I'm going to close that now. So that's everything in the Course Information tab. So again, please print out and have a hard copy of the course syllabus. There's important information in the course syllabus. Print out and have a copy of the academic calendar. It has all important due dates for quizzes and tests. Print out and have a copy of the protocol for sending email. Print out and have a hard copy of the homework to practice exercises. All right, let's come back over here and, let's look at the announcement area. I mentioned this earlier. This is where you'll find the weekly announcements. Now, again, you may not, I don't think you're going to see this. I just have everything preloaded already. But let's take a look at the week 1 announcements so you can see what a typical weekly announcement will look like. So let me click on that. And well, the week 1 announcements, I kind of start off with a brief welcome and mention again items that you should print out and have a hard copy of. One of them being the syllabus, because there's something really important in the syllabus. Let me kind of scroll down to where a typical, this is like what you will see for typical weekly announcements. So the week 1 announcements, I define the week as being from Monday to Sunday. I have in here, what sections are covered. That's something that's listed on the academic calendar. So again, this is a reminder on what EText practice exercises to do. So section by section, the ones you should practice and what EText screen they start on. That's something that was in a document in the course information tab that I told you to print out. And a reminder on due dates. The quiz 1 has a due date of Sunday, January 19th at 11:55. You can take it up to 2 times, remember. So that's like a typical weekly announcement. Let me show you real quickly week 5, because I think I've done that one already. And this is where I start to put in some videos. So the week 5 announcements, there are 2 sections covered that week, 2.1 and 2.2. So I say, here a link to some videos I made that you may want to look at to help you in those sections. So it says right-click on the link and open in a new tab. So let's look at this real quick. Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. Thought I'd put together a video for the beginnings of the next material. That's enough of me. Where we're gonna. You'll find links to my videos in the weekly announcements. All right, so that's weekly announcements. Let's go back to the course homepage. So weekly announcements, that's where you'll find them. We've already gone over course information. We'll do that in a minute. Oh, your quizzes. So when you're ready to do the quizzes, you click on the online quiz tab. Notice over here, left-hand column, it shows you the due date, or the deadline, if you will, for each quiz. But when you're ready to do a quiz, you just come in here, click on the quiz, and you're ready to go. I do have to mention that for quizzes, it's really, really important that you follow the directions exactly. That you enter your answers following the directions exactly. For example, if it said, if the directions say for an answer that when entering a fraction, make sure the fraction is reduced to lowest terms, and you enter the answer of 3/6, that will be marked wrong because 3/6 is not in lowest terms. The answer would be 1/2, 1/2. So follow the directions exactly for the online quizzes. And again, that's where the online quizzes are. Gradebook. Anytime you want to know where you stand in the course, click on the gradebook. It will have your up-to-date percent, where you stand in the class. This is where I will record the scores for your tests, so you can always see where you stand in the class by checking out the gradebook. Test preparation tabs. I already have test 1 preparation tab. I have that ready to go. So let's check it out. So in the test preparation tab, what you tend to see is, I have a study guide, a practice test, and then a video for solutions to the practice test. So let's look at the study guide. Got some reminder stuff up here, items 1 through 10. And what I do is I say section by section, homework problems you should know how to do. So this is a subset of all the problems you should have been doing to begin with. But I say, for example, in section 1.2, exercises that begin on EText screen 1.2-20, really focus on 3 through 9 odd. So, you do all of these. That's a good way to get started preparing for the test. And then after you've done that, take the practice test. Let's look at the practice test. You can print this out and take the practice test. And this gives you a really good idea of what the test will look like. And then to see if you got them correct on the practice test, I have a video here with solutions to the practice test.
Hey folks, Bill Armstrong here. I thought we'd go through the...
I'm going to close that. We don't need to see me anymore. So you'll see something like this for each test. So the only thing we have left to look at over here is the EText. So let me click on that. Click on EText. It takes just a little bit of time to open the EText. All right, so this is EText 1.1-1. So it's like the first page of the EText. Okay, here's page 2. And over here I'm clicking to get to page 3. Click, get to page 4. You know, and it always tells me up here where I'm at, 1.1-4. It also shows it here, I guess. Okay, 1.1-5. So let me click through kind of quickly. I want to get to page 9. So here on page 9, you know, here's an example. So example, you know, you read the example, you're going to sketch these angles. But if you needed help to see the video solution of that, that's what this icon is. So you could click on this icon. And you come down here and click play.
In this video, we're going to draw angles given in degree measure.
That's the author of the book.
Standard position and state
so he's going to work through
the
video solution for these.
Or the axis
so I'm going to pause it. Just wanted to show you that there was a video for that example. It's a pretty neat feature of the book. So let me close this. Here's the you try it. Remember I mentioned earlier in my 4-step cycle of learning, after many examples, there's a block of exercises like you try it. So if you click on this, it would allow you to practice immediately the concept presented in example 1. So let me click on that and show it to you. It says draw the angle in standard position and state the quadrant in which the terminal side of the angle lies, or the axis on which the terminal side of the angle lies. So an angle measures -15 degrees. So let's see. I know that's quadrant 4, but let's see what happens if I say quadrant 1. And I come down here and click check answer. And it's like, Bill, no, that's not correct. You know, it's got some explanation. And okay, I think I understand it now. So now let me say quadrant 4. I got that correct. You know, choose the correct drawing of the given angle. So, you know, I look at, oh, no, it's not any of those. I think it's A. So check the answer. Hey, nice work. So I click OK. And if I want to do another one, I can click on similar question. But I just wanted to show you the You Try It feature. So next, let me kind of click through, see if anything else pops up here. Well, there's another, what's objective 2? Definitions, again, if I were taking this class, I'd be taking notes as I'm reading through the EText. So here's another example. You can read the example, or you can watch the video, or you could do both. You know, again, some You Try It exercises. Okay, here on page, or EText screen 1.1-13, you know, you got this icon. So this icon is an animation. So let's see what this looks like.
A circle centered at the origin with a radius of length r units has the equation x squared plus y squared equals r squared. An angle whose vertex is at the center of a circle is called a central angle.
Okay, I'm going to stop that. Just wanted to show you that. So let me close out of this animation. And now I just wanted to show you like where the exercises begin. So I think that was on EText screen 1.1-13 or -25. So let me just type that in there so I don't have to keep clicking and hit enter. And it takes me to the beginning of the exercises. And I said to start with exercise 1. So it's this one, not this, not SCE1, just the number 1. So that's a quick overview of the EText and all the wonderful features within the EText. A few other items over here that, I have this available for you, Tools for Success. There's a graphing calculator reference card, which is kind of nice. I don't know if you want to look at how do I enter answers. I also kept this open, the guided notebook. I'll let you decide if you want to use it or not. That's about all I'm going to say on it. But again, you log in, you'll come to the home page, course information area. Again, please print out and have a copy of the syllabus. Something important in the syllabus. Print out and have a copy of the academic calendar, which shows all deadline and due dates for quizzes and tests. Print out and have a copy of the protocol for sending email. And print out and have on hand a copy of the end of section homework to practice exercises. And then there are the answers for those exercises. Announcements. Every Sunday mornings where I will put the subsequent week's announcement. So come check those out. Online quizzes. So that's where you will click to take whatever online quiz you need to do. Gradebook. This is where you can always know where you stand in the class. It will keep you up to date. So there should never be a surprise for what your grade is in the class. Test preparation tabs. And then finally, the EText. So that's it, folks. That's a quick overview of everything for Math 1700 online and a quick overview of my math lab. So you have everything ready at your disposal to now attack the material. Work hard this semester. Keep up on the material. If you ever have a question, don't hesitate to send me an email. If you're ever on campus during my posted office hours, please stop by my office. Even if you don't have a question, you could just stop by and say hi. And that's it. Thanks for watching.